In this season, I'm reflective about how far we've come. Last month, my Vice President, Ed Buster, sent me a link to the preview for the 688. This is a Netflix adaptation of the true events that surrounded the barriers and obstacles that the 855 women of the All-Black Women Army Corps faced. This seemingly impossible mission that the soldiers were given to sort and clear approximately 65,000 pieces of mail each shift was too much for others, but was also coupled with the challenge of also clearing a 3-month backlog of unsorted, undelivered mail that resulted in the soldiers of the front line experiencing an overwhelming sense of hopelessness as they weren't receiving mail from home and had lost the motivation to fight. This story was one that we weren't taught in high school and one that I had no idea even existed. The soldiers of the 6,888th Battalion were not only successful, they completed their mission ahead of schedule, causing a palpable shift in the morale of those in the front line and ultimately aiding their victory. Imagine my surprise when I learned that one of my close friends from my tenure at Hampton University's maternal grandmother, Miss Mildred Gate Hopper, was one of those amazing women, affording my friend and his mother, the daughter of Miss Gates Hopper, the opportunity to be invited to the premiere of the film in Texas on December 5th. I reached out to Ronnie and asked him about his grandmother, who has recently passed away. And he told me of growing up hearing stories of her time in the Army, stories of crawling through mud, climbing ropes, and being shipped off to Europe to sort mail. Ronnie was told that in the 1940s, his grandmother, an American soldier, was treated better in Europe than she was in the States, that there were far more opportunities for her there than there were at home. Sadly, we are not so far removed from that reality today. There are no shortage, none at all, of ability within Brown and Black communities. There is, however, a shortage of opportunities and resources. I vividly recall and have previously shared that as a graduating senior, I was unaware of resources available post-high school graduation. I and students who looked like me weren't offered assistance with college application process. We weren't even told about the SAT or ACT. My educational journey wasn't an open door. It was a crack in the window that I, by the grace of God, slipped through. I remember going to my guidance counselor after accidentally attending a college fair and asking her why she hadn't told us about it beforehand. I will never forget her response. She said, "Girls like you don't go to college." That's all it took. Myself and 4 other girls like me piled into an old Chevy Cavalier and drove an hour to Strongsville, Ohio to take the ACT, as it wasn't offered in time near our home in inner city Cleveland. We were split up and sat beside students who looked nothing like us and whose paths were paved for them through early intervention, study sessions, and academic rigor that we knew nothing about. At our school, we didn't even have homework because there weren't enough textbooks for each of us to take one home. We shared materials, but in doing so, we also shared a mission. My high school class graduated more students that year than in any other year in the history of John Marshall High School. Many of us went on to graduate from college, to graduate from graduate school. We went on to become doctors, lawyers, therapists, and even educators. I say all this to say that it is imperative that we become the voice for students of color and those from marginalized communities. My mother loved me, but she could only impart upon me the knowledge that she herself possessed. I was the first person in my family to graduate from high school. My mother couldn't help me, others had to. My eldest son graduated May of 2024, and as expected, he went straight off to college in August. It will never escape me that my son's path was paved for him. As persons of color, we stand in spaces with the knowledge that we didn't get here by ourselves. Thus, we have the duty and obligation to be to others what someone has been to us or what we wish someone had been for us. We must be the change we want to see in the world. I don't get political because to me, there is nothing in the world more important than our kids. And the students in the schools that we govern are our children. They are the ships that we send upon the sea. They are our future. I urge each and every one of you to make the fervent effort and commitment to the implementation of programs that ensure educational equality and opportunities for students of color in your districts. Thank you all and happy Black History Month.